What's going on, y'all? It's Kenny Cams. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for me. I want to know your thoughts. So, two different instances of attacks on the National Guard by Afghan refugees that came over in the Operation Allies program. Let's watch some videos first about the two topics, and then I'll give my thoughts on what's really happening here.
Holiday, we begin with a national tragedy. Two members of the West Virginia National Guard on crime-fighting duty in Washington, D.C. were shot and critically wounded today. They were ambushed just blocks away from the White House. CBS News captured the immediate aftermath of the shooting right there. A suspect was wounded and taken into custody and is now in the hospital. President Trump in Florida for Thanksgiving posted that the shooter will, quote, pay a very steep price. He's ordering 500 more National Guard troops into Washington, D.C. Homeland Security and Justice correspondent Nicole Sganga is following the very latest with this investigation. Nicole, good evening.
Good evening, Jerika. The shooting took place just 2 blocks north of the White House while the president was in Florida to celebrate the Thanksgiving holiday. U.S. officials tell CBS News this was a targeted attack.
Here, we want to bring you a bit of breaking news. I'm putting this up on your screen. It's from Brooke Taylor with Fox News, saying exclusive. An Afghan national was arrested on Tuesday after posting a video of himself on TikTok, indicating that he was building a bomb with an intended target of the Fort Worth area there in Texas. This is all according to the Department of Homeland Security. I want to put up some video that we have there of that suspect in full there on your screen. But we do know that court records are showing that the man is now being charged with making a terroristic threat at the state level. He came into the U.S. as a part of the Biden administration's Operation Allies Welcome, just like the D.C. shooting suspect.
So essentially, the house of cards of the Middle East is falling apart. I think that's why the is country is being super aggressive. And because they have to get this done now. I think that a lot of the ties and the connections that the U.S. had in the Middle East are being exposed now. I think that Trump is sold out to is for sure. And if you know what is, I'm shortening that up just for the algorithm on here and the YouTube monitors. But I think Biden was as well, in a different angle. So the entire point of the Greater Israel Project is to move all those people out, and then so that land can be occupied by the people like them. So I'm giving a bigger ideology. This is a conspiracy of my own that I came up with. If you want everyone that's like you to come where you are, how do you get them to move? That's why when people say like it is 100% ruining their reputation, ruining their name, not with people that are from their same tribe. And I'm not even saying it from a religious point. It's actually more of a demonic point. It's people with narcissistic personality, Zionists. I can say that word. How do you get other Zionists to move to the Middle East so that you can have your Greater Israel Project? You take all the people that, just like how we say like the Venezuelans weren't sending their best and all of that, you take all the lower class people of that area and you ship them to other areas and you make those governments accept them and you scare the people that they want to come and live where you are. Iraq, Syria, Sudan, all that stuff is the Greater Israel Project and part of Iran. This is not anything to do with the Bible. That's what they say, but it's nothing to do with the Bible, nothing to do with religion. It is all about access to resources and waterways, and they want to create a water corridor so they can tax it from the eastern to the western world. That's what all of this is about. That's what Afghanistan was about. And in this Operation Allies, do I feel for the people from Afghanistan that picked the wrong side? 100%. Is the U.S. terrible for leaving those people? 100%. I still say that thing from the plane that looked like AI to me. When you saw the people on a jet coming, because that's just not how jets operate. You wouldn't be able to get that close. You wouldn't be able to get on there. It didn't make sense logically. A lot of stuff during COVID didn't make sense logically, and people just accepted it. Even Biden, I'm going to play a video quick of Biden. And just tell me what y'all think about this looking back now.
U.S. military, citing security concerns, is not saying when or how U.S. troops are leaving. Bases are shutting down without hardly a peep. At the White House, President Biden also did not want to draw attention to Afghanistan, bristling when reporters pressed him today about the impact of the withdrawal.
Are you worried that the Afghan government might fall?
I think they have the capacity to be able to sustain the government.
My thought on Afghanistan.
I want to talk about happy things, man.
Afghanistan.
I'm not going to answer any more questions on Afghanistan. Look, it's 4th of July.
But not talking about it won't stop this. As U.S. troops leave, some Afghan security units are collapsing. The Taliban's propaganda channels, in confirmed events, show Afghan police and soldiers giving up their bases and their weapons. The Taliban have even been handing out pocket money to pay for their transport home. Humiliation. Most Afghans do not want the Taliban to return. Zaman Ahmadi is studying to be a computer engineer. He taught himself English, listening to Voice of America radio.
All Afghanistan going to be the same as before. No education, no freedom, there's no TV, there's no any broadcast, anything.
2,442 Americans died in this war. But for years, it's mainly been a training mission to prop up the Afghan security services. By September, nearly all.
So watching that video, Biden was always incompetent. And they made us feel bad for calling it out and saying there was something wrong with us for seeing it. If you look at what he actually did to our country, it was, I forgot, I think it might have been the Crow House. It was one of the older guys, I call it the OGs, that I watched during that COVID time. COVID was the selling out of America. It was the fire sale in America. It was Black Friday. And everything was for sale. And now you got to the point where the people that were really invested are divested from it. And the people that are left are the ones that actually want the power. They don't see that it's crumbling in front of them. Like, we can all watch TV every day and watch the news. Like, and if you're not understanding that all of this stuff that you see on TV is narrative and fake, like, the world does not work how the news says it does. The world does not interact. The events that happen on the news they didn't happen how they say it was. It's all narrative building. And it's all Hollywood. Who runs Hollywood? Boom. It all goes back to the same demographic. And I may not be displaying this the best, but this is coming off the top for me. But it's very difficult for me to sit back and play this mind games of, oh, we can't blame a certain place because that's wrong, but all signs lead back to that certain place. And then once you notice that, then you're anti-Semitic. It just doesn't make sense for me at all. What I think is happening now. Oh, and then I want to show a video of how hypocritical our government is in general, of the ex-ISIS and Al-Qaeda leader who has now changed his name and is now the president of Syria. Let's take a look at this.
President Trump is set to host the first ever visit by a Syrian president later today. President Ahmed al-Sharaa took power last year after his forces toppled the country's longtime dictator, Bashar al-Assad, in what was a lightning offensive. Since then, he sought to establish new diplomatic ties and end decades of sweeping sanctions imposed on Syria. CBS News foreign correspondent Remi Inocencio joins us from London with more on this. Remi, good morning. With so much happening, we don't want viewers to miss this. What can we expect from today's historic meeting at the White House?
Yeah, Errol, good morning. And historic absolutely is the word for this. And al-Shara won't just be the first Syrian head of state to visit the White House. Actually, he's already become the first to shoot hoops, basketball, with the U.S. military. There you see it. He's playing with an admiral and a brigadier general. This video from Saturday from an undisclosed location in the U.S., and he did make one of those shots. But for today, on a serious note, right, what we may witness is Syria coming in even further from the geopolitical cold after the fall of the Assad regime. The White House today is hoping that Syria will formally join that fight, the U.S.-led fight against ISIS, the Islamic State, with al-Shara signing an agreement with President Trump. And really, this would be momentous because it would symbolize a major reversal of
This is why veterans should revolt against our government. This was the leader of the guy that did all the stuff that got all your friends killed over there. That was the reasoning behind going over there and having people not come back home. He would be maimed for life. People having their conscience because they killed a bunch of people. These guys meeting in these ballrooms are the reasons for this. And the average Americans I don't think we put it together yet. Like, they're the reasons why all this stuff is happening. And we just got the consequences of it. And now everything's just okay because they are on the same side of an issue. War has to stop. It's evil at its base. They tell us in our everyday life that we should be able to talk out problems, but then the politicians can go to war economically through sanctions, kinetically through dropping bombs, psychologically through all the stuff that we're dealing with America, biologically through the stuff that happened in 2021. Like, we can get war put on us in every which way, but we're supposed to be nice and polite. We are slaves. We are slaves, and our slave masters are criminals. I think that's all I want to do with this video. I might go more into this, but this looks like an activation to me. I feel like these people are activated 2 times in 3 days. And I know what country is doing it because they control the entire Middle East, and they act like they don't. They act like everyone hates them. Why has ISIS never attacked Israel? Why has Al-Qaeda never attacked Israel? Why has Al-Shabaab never attacked Israel? Who is Hamas? Who funds Hamas? Who gave Hamas a whole bunch of money through Qatar? Just gave them bags of money to operate. Who did that? Who told Trump that we should annex the Gaza Strip? Who told Trump to bomb Iran? Who told Joe Biden that bringing 25,000 people from a country that literally has a reason to hate us to settle them here? Who suggested that? Who's letting these people make these decisions, or who's informing these decisions? Why do we never ask that? We just look at what's happening. Who's doing this stuff? Who actually controls the Epstein files? Who actually controls JFK files? Who actually controls when we get to nuke people? What we've been told is clearly a lie. So these are the questions I have that I want answered. I'm not even upset. I just want to know. I want to know so I can understand what I'm operating in. Where does our tax money go? Why are we giving so much money to different countries when our country is starving? And we have like why wasn't it why were we in a recession during COVID? Even though the numbers said we were. Like, why? Start asking why. We are dealing with narcissistic dictators that want to rule your life to make so that their life can maintain the ease and accessibility, and the entertainers and the politicians and everybody is involved. All of the shadow groups of the Boule and the Illuminati, all of them are involved. It's all the same thing. But why? Why are they doing this? Why? Why are all these agendas being pushed? Why do we have to be nice and like to people when everybody's not nice to everybody? Why do we have to be nice and cordial to certain groups? Why can't we say what we think? Like, why? Why? That's the question that Americans specifically need to start asking. Why? I'm an American before I'm anything else. Why? Why is this happening? I'm gonna leave y'all with that. If you got some answers for it, put it down in the comments for me. So I'm really interested in this. So it's Kenny Cams, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe for me. I'm out. Peace.